All right, well, this is Glen Matlock, and you're listening to 6 Towns Radio. Don't go away. Don't touch that dial.
Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is 6 Towns Radio.
Okay, Oatcake Day was last week, and headlining the gig in Stoke was the fabulous Glen Matlock, and it's my pleasure to get him on the telephone today to talk about it. Hi, Glen. You okay?
Yeah, how you doing, Terry? All right?
Not bad, mate, not bad. I invited you back up into Stoke last week. You'd played a few years ago with Dead Man Walking, but was this journey up into Stoke a bit more memorable, playing Oatcake Day?
Yeah, well, how can I forget Oatcake Day? It's one of the highlights of my career. I think it was fun, though. It was a good crowd, good turnout, and good people, yeah.
Yeah. And you got to try an oatcake. What did you think of it?
I like the crispy bits. Now, whether they were supposed to be crispy, I don't know, but they were crispy, and I enjoyed it. So.
We've got another convert, but yeah, it was a mixed crowd. You played a great set. Loads of interaction in there, I noticed. Is that something that you brought to your set later on, or is that something you've always done?
I think it's something I've always sort of worked towards, and then the more, I don't do many acoustic shows all the time. It's something I enjoy doing, but as you get more confidence from doing it, you kind of get the interaction with the audience going a bit more. Music's about communication, so if you're getting some feedback from people, then all to the good, really, and I'd like to have a laugh. I'm not a miserable old sod who wants to ram his latest record down people's throats. There is a serious side to some of the songs, but when people go home and listen to them, that's when they can pick up on that. But I like to have a laugh when I'm playing with a crowd.
Yeah, and it showed. And, you've got to get people who are Sex Pistols fans and Rich Kids fans and, and fans of your solo work. So you've got to play a bit of everything, haven't you? You've just got to.
Yeah, well, I don't have to, but if I don't see David Bowie and he doesn't play Heroes or something like that, and I'll go home disappointed. I know people expect certain things from me. And, when I'm doing an acoustic show, because I know all the songs, I'm not reliant on does the band know this one or not. I can sort of chop and change on the spot, as it were. And, I just like to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Of course, you were an original Sex Pistol.
Yeah, but I'm also like one of those signs you see, first and last gas station on the way to the motorway. I'm first and last bass player in Sex Pistols. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you left, you were an integral piece of the jigsaw, and that proved, because 2 songs, I think, recorded and then basically folded.
Well, yeah, people can make what they want of that, but that does seem to be the case, yes. But it was such an intense period that it was very hard to sustain that level of energy, and everybody in the band was like chalk and cheese. Nobody's kind of best mates in the band, and we're kind of acquaintances, but you're not always best friends with the people you work with, So, regardless of your profession, it's something I'm proud to have been involved in doing. I've never claimed to have done it all, but I know I did certain things, and I think I provided a vehicle for Johnny Rotten's lyrics, So I think I made them more accessible to the world at large.
You said that you weren't necessarily friends. You think it's cabin fever when you're all put together for big periods of time? You're going to fall out, aren't you?
Yeah. It's just a very intense kind of thing, And I think what we do now is we tend to reform every 5 years and do a tour. And that's kind of enough, really.
Yeah.
The other thing with the Pistols is that, the Clash made 5 albums, but we only made the one. I do like John's quote when people say he's going to do a new one. He says, well, what's wrong with the old one? Kind of quite funny, but there's a truth in that as well. But again, I'm not desperate to do loads of gigs of Pistols because we've only got one album to draw from. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not losing any sleep whether it does or doesn't. There's lots of things to do in this world. Pistols is a pretty good one, but it's not the only one.
Yeah, they reform every 5 years or so. I think the first time was 1996, I think was the first time.
Yeah.
Was that a massive tinderbox?
Well, we all got on quite well enough, when you're touring properly. When I first played with the band, we was doing lots of little gigs around the country in the back of the van, sitting on top of the equipment in the back of the van. It's quite funny. I got my My son's band turned up last night at my place here in London. I've got 8 of them. When I opened the bedroom door, there's 8 all sleeping on the floor, and that's kind of what we were doing with the Pistols back then. But when we reformed in '96, we were doing massive big gigs, and it was all laid on properly. And you know, when you're flying everywhere first class, you can afford to be a bit more accommodating of other people's foibles.
2015 would be the 40th anniversary when you got together, and I know everyone thinks of these anniversaries and they put box sets out and everything. Is there plans for a big tour again in 2015?
No, I'm normally the last to know. If it happens, it happens. If I get a phone call saying what you're doing, that's fine. I'm always doing lots of different things. I mean, the main thing I was quite pleased about doing over the last few years was playing with the Faces, which I was quite the bass player of my all-time favourite band. That was great, playing with Ronnie Wood and Kenny and Mac. It's a shame Rod Stewart didn't do it that time around, but Nick Hucknall was a very good stand-in. So, yeah, that might happen again. I don't know yet. So
with Rod Stewart, I reckon it could happen with Rod Stewart, I do.
Well, there's a bit of talk about it. Whether he'll want me to do it, I don't know. I know the other guys probably do, but, you know, lead singers. What can I say? But, I've got my fingers quietly crossed, but I'm not hoping. And I'm playing around with my band. I'm just in the middle of writing some new songs towards another Matlock album, which I don't expect will set the world on fire. But, that's what I do more than anything else. I'm a songwriter. And what I do is a vehicle for my song. There's no point writing a song and it sits on a cassette in the drawer. You want to get out there and play it to people. And the other thing I think with being a writer is it's not, I've never made that much money I can live in some ivory tower and be totally divorced from what's going on in the world. And I think as a writer, I've kind of got me finger on the pulse, but I'm certainly aware of what's going on in the world. And I think it gives you strength to your writing because you get more to write about as you get older.
Yeah, you're forever learning things.
That's the way I like to see it. Whether I'm right or not is another matter, but that's what I like to think,
Every day's a school day, isn't it? You keep learning things every day and things keep happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, tell us about the International Swingers. Clem Burke and yourself.
Yeah, that's a little project I've been doing in the States. And we're all mates, really. We all like playing. We're doing a few gigs here and there and see what comes of it. It's mainly a stateside thing, although we did one gig over here when Clem finished his Blondie tour a couple of weeks ago, and maybe we'll be back again. We'll see, I think the main thing I'm doing really is me and the Philistines. I'm working towards a new album, so that's what's the main thing. And if the phone rings again and I'm available, I'll probably go and do it.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You've got so many different fingers and different pies. You can just go and pick things up, drop them, carry on with things and leave things. It's totally open. I suppose you like that.
Yeah. It's all part of life's rich pageant, and it's good playing with different people. If they're all a certain standard or above, then their playing is going to rub off on you a little bit, and you learn things. It's not something that you learn like from a textbook, but it's a feel and it's a knack, and it's kind of interesting,
Yeah, you're friends and a former bandmate of Mick Jones, aren't you? You still play with him now and again.
I've known Mick for many a year, yeah. We do a few little things every once in a blue moon. Well, mainly we go to QPR together, although we're not rushing down there this season.
Yeah, you did mention to me that you're a QPR fan. What are you expecting from this season?
I think we'll be lucky to get in playoffs, to be honest. I mean, I hope we do better than that, but I'm kind of quite realistic about them. Rangers have always got a knack of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, so... We'll see, but I'm one of these people who you support your local team. They're my local team. I don't support Chelsea, which I could do, but I don't just because they're trendy and always it's easy to support somebody who wins all the time.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I support Port Vale when Stoke City is obviously the Premier League club of Staffordshire, but I just live a stone throw away from Port Vale when I was a kid. I started game watching, and that's it. I don't think you can go back. I don't think you can change your mind.
No, yes, it's in your blood, I mean, I supported QPR when I was in the third division. Oh, I will point out, when I started supporting them, they won the third division, the League Cup, got promoted to the old second division, and then the first in consecutive seasons. as soon as I started supporting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
Before you go, I just want you to tell me a little bit about your son's band.
Yeah, they got a band called Dead, D-E-A-D, exclamation mark. They're good, actually. They're sort of like people, a bit like My Chemical Romance and Newfound Glory and Black Veil Brides. I'm not going to dispute that, but that's kind of some of the names they bandy around. And they're currently doing a tour. They've got a couple of dates left on the tour. They've been once around the country. And they're good. Good 5-piece band. Check them out.
We'll get everyone to check them out. Well, thanks a lot, Glenn, for coming on the phone, and thanks a lot for coming up for Oatcake Day.
No, it was always nice to be asked, you know. I had a blast.
All right,
mate.
No, thank you.